everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah and today's video is going to be a Q&A answering all the questions you guys have left me on my Instagram. So the first question that I got was, when did you start riding and how long have you been riding for? So I started riding lessons when I was 7, but I was very inconsistently taking lessons until I was about 11. So if you want to count all of it in total, I will be riding for 9 years this fall. The next question is, when and how did you get your first horse and how long have you had Bella? So I bought Bella the January 1st, 2018. So I've had her just over 2 years. I found her ad on a website called Equine Now, and I just tried her twice, took her home on a trial, and then the trial went well, so we ended up buying her officially on the 1st of 2018. The next question is, what are your goals with Bella? So I actually have a lot of goals with Bella, so I'm just going to kind of keep it really short to not make this video too long. I really want to continue to develop her flat work, that way the jumping will be a lot easier. And then in jumping, I want to become more competitive in the meter 10s because last time we went, it went really well. We ended up going clear our last 2 days of the competition, but I want to start being more competitive and kind of winning the classes instead of just being the person who goes clear and took it easy. I want to start taking more risks and becoming more competitive in that division. The next question is Castare different from Bella? Castare is pretty much the complete opposite from Bella in almost every single way possible. If you've ever seen those like Instagram memes of like there's a clear difference between someone who owns a bay gelding and a chestnut mare, but I own both, so I don't really know what that says about me as a person, but I love them both because they're so different and I get to learn so much from each of them. Castare is a lot more of a push to go kind of ride, and he's a lot more to kind of hold together. I think that's mainly just because he's so young. He also is very bouncy. The KWPNs, their trot basically flings you up. You don't even need to know how to post. He kind of posts for you. And it's really easy to sit his canter, and Bella is a little bit more flat. Not in a bad way, but like I feel like it's more kind of smoother. And it's a little bit more difficult to sit her canter. So it's very different. And Bella's a lot more willing to go, and she's very forward, where Castare is a little bit more, you gotta kind of get at him to get going, which makes braking a lot easier on Castare and a little bit more difficult on Bella. The next question is, how old is Bella and Castare? Bella turned 10 last month, so she's 10, and Castare is currently 3. He turns 4 in July, so for USEF he's 4, but for me he's only 3. The next question is, what are your goals with Castare and like what are you planning to show him in? So since he's only 3, I can't really say like this is what I'm going to do showing wise with him because I have no idea. I haven't jumped him since I tried him back in January, so he is getting a very long break from jumping so that way he can keep maturing and getting older, and that way we can also work on getting his flat work. Right now the main focus and the only focus is getting his flat work as solid as possible because I don't want to get him jumping until he's able to do everything he needs to know how to do on the flat first. I'm not going to rush his jumping. I'm not in a rush at all with him. So that's kind of what I'm aiming towards. I'm thinking about starting to jump him somewhere around July because he turns 4 in July. If he's ready to. I would love to start showing him by the end of the year, so around September and October. But like I said, if that he doesn't seem ready for that, we're not going to do it. Showing wise though, I'm hoping in 2021 to take him in some jumpers in the 5-year-old classes. But that's about a meter, so I don't really know how soon we're going to be ready to be jumping a meter. I want to take him in the huntering as well. I want him to be accustomed to both. I want him to be able to do both, but since I am not a huge fan of the huntering, I don't really want to spend all of my time and money showing hunters if it's not something that I love to do. Next one is, would you show them in a different discipline? I don't think I would ever switch Bella to hunters. Castare, it depends on what he's really good at. If he thrives in the huntering, I'll show him in the huntering. If he thrives in the jumpering, I'll show him in the jumpering. I mean, I have bias. I prefer the jumpering, so I would love for him to be good at that, but if he is doing way better in hunters, I would do him in hunters. Next question is, what is the highest you've ever jumped? I have jumped, I think it was like 4.8, 4.9, something around that. with Bella last summer. The next question is Bella still going to be your main horse? I mean, every day I'm riding them both the same. I ride him for about half an hour to 45 minutes. I ride her for half an hour to 45 minutes. I have one lesson on them both a week. So for them, training-wise, they're getting the exact same amount of attention. Until Castare is ready to be a show horse, you know, when he's 4 or 5, when he's ready to be going to shows like Bella does, then they will both be trailered up to the same shows and showed at the same weekends and stuff like that. But until Castare's ready for that, I would consider Bella to be my main horse in the showing aspect, because I'm not going to stop showing Bella just because I have Castare. Castare will just stay home for the weekend, get a weekend off, and Bella will show, and then she'll get a few days off and I'll only ride Castare. It's all kind of a trade-off. Next question is, how did you know Castare was the one? With both of my horses, Bella and Castare, they've never really been like my top choice or that like I fell in love with right away. With Bella, it was kind of like a love-hate relationship, because I fell off of her the first time and I was really embarrassed, and then my dad was like, oh, finally a challenge for you, so then he liked him, and that persuaded me into liking her. And then with Castare, he was not my top choice, I will be honest. He was not my top choice, but my top choices ended up not working out, so I went back and looked at all of the videos that you guys saw, and since he was only 3 or 4, whatever you want to consider him as, I don't have that much proof for him. Like, I don't have a show record, I don't have, oh, well, he's jumped this high in courses or anything like that. I gone off of his his free jumping videos, and I also looked at his pedigree and his parents and grandparents. His parents and grandparents are amazing, so I kind of just figured if they could just pass a little bit of their talent onto him, combined, he would be a really, really awesome horse. So that's kind of how I knew he was the one. He also is one of the calmest and most chill baby horses I've ever seen. Next question is, what is your biggest accomplishment in your riding career? My last show, which if you haven't watched the show vlog, I recommend it. Those rounds are probably one of my favorite rounds I've ever had on Bella. I placed second in the meter 15 classic. The reason that's a big deal was because my trainer actually entered me in that without telling me. I wanted to do the meter classic because there was no meter 10 classic. Just because I'd never shown meter 15, and it was my first show doing meter 10, and I didn't want to push myself, and the weekend didn't start off really great, so I didn't want to scare myself again, so I really didn't want to do the meter 15s. My trainer put me in it anyway, told me an hour before I was supposed to get on and show it, and I was so scared. I don't think I've ever been that scared to show, and it went so well. So I think that's probably my biggest riding accomplishment, because it gave me a lot of confidence in both myself and Bella. Next question is, what girth do you use? I have like a flex rider girth that I ride in every day. I bought it 3 years ago on my last lease horse that I had before I bought Bella. It fits both of my horses, so I ride them in that. I'm planning on getting better girths for them soon. And then I show Bella in a Voltaire belly guard girth because I want it for free. She doesn't really need a belly guard because she's barefoot, but we have it anyway. The next one we have is favorite riding brands. I would say my favorite riding brand is Smart Pack for saddle pads and for like bridles. All my bridles, martingale, stuff like that's from Smart Pack. I love Hors when it comes to riding clothes. Pretty much all of the breeches I use on an everyday basis are from Hors. My favorite helmet's my Cask helmet. It's the first helmet that's actually fit me. I have a really weird shaped head, so Cask is amazing. I have Redis boots for Bella. Those are her competition boots. I love them. If I could afford a second set, I would get a second set to show to jump her at home, but they're very expensive. Free jump stirrups are my favorite stirrups. They're amazing. I love them, and they're red, so that gives me, you know. And Equestrian Stockholm saddle pads are my all-time favorite. They're just also very expensive, but they're amazing and I love them, and those are my main show sets. I have a set for Castare already and I have a set for Bella that I use, and they're beautiful. I love them and they're so nicely made. Next question is, when did you move to America from Sweden? When did you start riding in Sweden? So I moved to the US when I was like 6 months, so I barely count as a Swedish person. I'm basically an American. So I didn't start riding in Sweden. I started here when I was 7, so first grade. Worst riding habit. My worst riding, I have a lot, if you want to nitpick at my equitation, but I would say ducking my head over fences. My head goes very far down, and a lot of people actually comment why it does that, and it's just a bad habit. I don't really know. And then the second one would probably be leaning with my inside shoulder. I used to do barrels. That's where I started. When I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, I did barrels. And ever since then, I don't think I've ever not leaned with my inside shoulder. I'll think about it and I'm like trying to fix it, but then I watch the videos and I'm still leaning, so it's a problem. How many ribbons do you have? I'm not really sure. I mean, these are my 2 champion ribbons. They're the ones behind me, reserve champion. I probably would say about 20 ribbons from rated shows, which is basically WEC. And then I probably have like 50 schooling show ribbons. I don't have that many, but I think that's a good estimate of what I have. The next question is Bella a forever horse? I mean, that's my dream. My dream is to have Bella forever. She lives in my backyard, retired, and I'm riding whatever little babies that I have. But when college is here, I don't want her to ever be neglected, and I never want for me to not have time for her to not continue being ridden. She loves jumping, she loves riding and working, so if it ever becomes to the fact where I can't take care of her the way I want to, I would sell her. But my dream is to keep her forever. So I have 2 questions left. So the next one is, how did you get to where you are today? I don't really know if I'm qualified to answer this question, but I would basically just say that have a good trainer is the most important thing that you could possibly have. So one thing that I highly, highly recommend, if your barn allows it, is to work as a working student. I think you get so many opportunities from watching your trainer ride other horses, or riding your horse, or helping you with your horse. I just think that there's no negatives to it. I think it's a great opportunity to learn, and you get to work, and you get experience. And the last question I have is, how many pairs of breeches do you own? I'm not really sure. I think I maybe have like 10, 15 pairs. I'm not really positive. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see me on a more daily basis, my Instagram will be linked down below. And if you don't want to click the link, it's just leaandbellagrace. If you ever want to participate in another one of my Q&As that I'm probably going to film in like 4, 5, 6 months from now, make sure you follow my Instagram. I post several times before I actually end up filming these. That way everybody who wants to ask a question can ask. And if you just have a question that you didn't have the chance to ask and you want the answer to now, just leave it down below. I'll answer any questions on this video or any video you guys leave. I'm always looking at my comments, so you just gotta comment them down below. If you have any other video requests for videos I can make at home while we're in quarantine, please let me know. I have so much time that I can be spending making videos. I just don't really know what you guys want to see from me, especially since I can't be out with the horses and making barn vlogs and show vlogs and stuff like that since I'm stuck at home. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. I would be glad to do them if I can make them at home. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!